There'll be spectacle, there'll be fantasy, there'll be daring do and stuff like you would never see.
Be a movie. Yeah, we're gonna be a movie.
Starring everybody
and me. There'll be heroes bold, there'll be comedy, and a lot of fuss that ends for us real happily.
Be a movie.
We can watch it all develop.
Starring everybody and me. We'll take the world and set it on its ear.
Come on, join in. We're gonna start right here.
All right, welcome to the first official edition of B-Side Movies. I'm your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And joining me on this newly branded podcast where we'll be discussing all your favorite something weird, Roger Corman, blaxploitation, sci-fi original motion picture, cheap budgets, all that good stuff. Your favorite B movies, ladies and gentlemen. He joined me on Warrior Nun, and because of that, I had to give him a permanent place on the roster. And if there's anybody on this roster who loves B movies more than I do, it's the prodigal son, Jason Teasley. How do you do, sir?
Hey, how's it going, Mark? I'm just curious. How did I get booted off the roster? I mean, I used to be a mainstay. I mean, did Jesse did Jesse come in and boot me off? And you know, did he big time me? Did Jesse big time me?
You went to go do football and forgot about us. That's what happened.
No, Jesse got too big for me. You know, got too big for me and forgot about the little people.
Okay, that's the story we're going to go with. Sure.
And he hung me out to dry.
Well, we're glad that you're back in here, and I certainly appreciate you. And you know, you and I talked offline about wanting to do more of these B-movie type reviews. It didn't really fit into the TV party motif, so I said, okay, let's start a whole new thing. And what a better way! Like, I love the Christmas season. I love Christmas movies. I love Christmas music. This is my favorite time of year. And what better way to kick off B-side movies than with a Christmas movie? Specifically, the sci-fi original movie, Santa Jaws. I don't know where I saw that, but I saw that within the last couple of days, and it was like, we have to talk about this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, your love for Christmas rivals mine because Christmas is my least favorite holiday. But when you posted this in our group chat and was like, yes, it's holiday theme, it fits, I said, okay, I watched the trailer and I was in. I was hooked from the trailer because it looked just so right up your alley where we could talk about this and just have fun. This storyline is probably the worst movie we've reviewed this thus far, but cinematography, not so bad.
Yeah, the special effects. I mean, again, this apparently debuted on the Sci-Fi Channel in 2018. It was directed by Misty Talley, whose credit includes Ozark Sharks, Jeepers Creeper. She was an editor on Ozark Sharks. Let me find what she directed. All right. Movie she's directed: The Tiger and the Oak documentary, Santa Jaws, Mississippi River Shark. There we go. Ozark Sharks, Shark Island, and she's been an editor on a whole bunch of others, not to mention the aforementioned Jeepers Creepers 3 and Secrets in Suburbia. She apparently, I was reading about her, she decided that shark movies were going to be her thing, and she wanted to, and she thought the idea, she wanted to get into directing, and she thought shark movies were the way to go. And I couldn't agree more. I thought she did, with a television, sci-fi television budget, I thought she did a pretty good job with this. If you know what it is you're getting into, like if you're expecting, Marvel movies quality, you're going to be sorely mistaken here. But if you know going into this, you're gonna get some pretty silly special effects. This was a lot of fun to watch.
I'm just going to point this out on her IMDb page. In the same year, I find this a little ironic, she was tied to a movie called Christmas in Mississippi and then Mississippi River Sharks.
Yes, sir.
So I think she's found her niche.
So our story begins. I'm just going to read this from the IMDb page. Cody is an aspiring comic book artist. He's a teenager who happens to be gifted a pen from his grandfather, which changes reality. He gets in trouble with his parents. He gets in trouble and gets grounded, and he sort of harumphs and stomps off to his room, and he wishes with this secret pen, this special pen that he got from his grandfather, that he were alone on Christmas. And he's got this comic book that he's been illustrating called Santa Jaws. And with this pen and these wishes, the pen brings Santa Jaws to life. And it starts picking off Cody's family and friends. At first, because the aforementioned early scene where he got in trouble with his mother, no one believes him. But soon, his remaining family and friends find out it's true, and the race to battle for survival begins. Who will win? So yeah, he drew this comic with his friend, and they spend a lot of time in this comic book store. There's a neighbor girl who he's hot for. He's got a brother. He's got an uncle in town with a model girlfriend, his parents, and then their grandfather. And he drew something about a school uniform, and he drew a naughty comic to protest the school uniform thing. And so his mother grounds him. And his grandfather wakes him up early the next day, at Christmas Day, says, "Hey, why don't you go fishing with me? And, we can talk about your frustrations." And the grandfather's really, really nice to him.
No, it was Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. Yeah, this is after he's wished death on the entire family, by the way. And they're out there fishing, and they're bonding, at which point we see our first glimpse of Santa Jaws, which is a shark that is attracted to all things Christmas, has an insatiable hunger, and wears a Santa cap.
Why does he? You got to go over why he wears a Santa cap.
Remind me. It was.
Right,
I know somebody threw a Santa cap in the water, if I remember correctly.
No, it was the cold open. It was this evil. It was the story. It's the comic book cold open. Is how the backstory for Santa Jaws. This evil Santa guy has kidnapped this girl.
Oh, that's right.
Shows up, kicks him in his jingle bells, and he's like this murderous Santa guy, and he gets knocked into the water, and something happens, and the evil Santa murder guy bonds with a great white shark, and it's through the hat, the Santa Claus hat the guy has. And this was the best thing ever was the naughty and nice tattoos the evil Santa had on his forearms when he takes off his jacket and starts to fight this guy.
Yeah, it's like Santa Biker.
Yeah, it's like your mall Santa, just was still drunk and is trying to take advantage of one of his elves after the shop closed or something.
So
just to give you the mind frame.
So there's a lot of kills in this. Like if you're a horror fan and you're not a big film person, you just like horror kills. There's plenty of them in this. The shark literally leaps out of the water and in one bite eats Grandpa and swallows him whole. It's hilarious.
Because they spilt the special eggnog in their fishing hole, and Grandpa was reaching down to get the thermos. Imagine, this is what it reminded me of. All the shark jump out of the water scenes reminds me to Deep Blue Sea when Samuel Jackson gets eaten.
I haven't seen Deep Blue Sea, but I was howling at this. Like, every shark kill was hilarious to me. Like,
I'm going to ask here later. I want to ask which one was your favorite.
oh, there's so many.
I know mine's easy.
Is it the one where the brother gets killed?
No.
Okay, because we'll talk about it later, but that one's so good. And we have to explain why specifically how the brother gets killed is so funny. But, all right, so Cody sees his grandfather get eaten alive by Santa Shark. Santa Shark doesn't go after Cody ever, by the way. He only goes after whoever's standing next. Sorry, Santa Jaws is always like eats the person next to Cody, but he never goes after Cody, which I think is interesting.
And it's a she, pronouns.
Yeah, that's true. Pronouns, pal. All right, so Cody runs home and he tries to tell his parents that there's a great white shark in the bay, and it's and it just ate Grandpa, and they're like, no, shut up, you're grounded for 2 weeks now for lying and being a crazy person. I think then the action shifts over to the uncle who's trying to take his boat out sailing with his model girlfriend, and he go ahead.
Yeah, because the next one is the boat, because they go to they have to go to the restaurant and set up for the Christmas party. They leave him at home, and they go out because his girlfriend's a model on Snapstagram. And she's an influencer, and she's just tired of, because her followers can only handle so many pumpkin spice lattes. That line got a chuckle out of me. I think the boat's next. The uncle and the girlfriend is the next scene.
Okay, so he tries to start the boat, and the boat won't start. It's stalling. So he goes and checks out the engine, and like any good horror movie, guy sticks his hand into something, never ends well. He pulls up Christmas lights. Christmas lights have been entangled in the engine, which I don't know how that happened, but I know at some point they're going to show you a profile of the shark, and the shark is also wrapped up in Christmas lights, which is even better.
All right, the Christmas lights come from when Santa Claus comes to life. She comes to life in the bay, and she's swimming out, and there's Christmas lights strung across the water between two boats, and that's how it gets wrapped around the tail.
Okay.
Because she pulls them with it. How they stay lit is still beyond me. Because
they're battery powered.
They're solar powered or something. I don't know. But yeah, they get wrapped around because half of the shark is wrapped in Christmas lights. Mm-hmm. And this just becomes a very important plot point later.
Santa Claus is very festive.
Oh yes, he's got his hat, his lights.
Yep.
His glowing red eyes like Rudolph's nose.
Yeah, which they later on we're going to find out that his best friend, wrote the comic and specifically gave him eyes that lit up like Rudolph's nose. So anyway, so the uncle, the rich uncle, reaches in there. He pulls out the lights, and this, of course, attracts Santa Shark, and Santa Shark jumps out of the water. Santa Jaws jumps out of the water, and he gets eaten whole. Now,
down.
Which I think the girlfriend figures it out and like makes a run for it at that point.
No, she's on a float. She's hollering, yelling for it. She's on a reindeer float.
Yep.
Taking pictures of herself, and she drops her phone in the water, and she starts yelling for her husband, and then sees the shark with the Santa hat on it, and then she gets the fuck up out of there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, like the shark, she got out of there before the shark could get to her. All right, so she eventually ends up with Cody and the friend, and they end up in the comic book store. I forget
she
the
goes
next.
Into the restaurant. Yeah, she goes into the restaurant, tells them. She gets with Cody's brother, who the mom and dad, who are just Shakespearean actors in this. Let me tell you. They tell Cody's brother, who's this baseball star that we find out about, that to take him home, and he goes, "If I know Cody, I know the one place he's at."
Okay, you're right. I remember the next plot point now. So they go to the comic book store, and every time they go to the comic book store, there's like a new revelation or a new bit that moves the plot forward. This comic book store is very important. So the first time they go to the comic book store, they figure out that the comic book is the key to ending the evil of Santa Jaws. But he doesn't have the comic book anymore. He gave it to the neighbor girl that Cody has the hots for. So off they go to the neighbor girl's house. And she says, "I don't have the comic book anymore. I must have left it on my dad's boat." They're like, "Okay, let's go find your dad." So they go to the dad's boat, and wouldn't you know who won the pony? Santa Jaws not only crushes the dad's legs by ramming the boat into him, but then he gets eaten whole.
Yes, that was my favorite kill because of how bad the practical effects of him having his legs missing were. Like, you clearly see his legs behind him, and he's just on his knees. And you can clearly see his legs behind him, and he's just coming down the dock. And it was just so great. And this movie was all over the place. It was not all over the place like Velocipaster, but it was definitely all over the place. It was very, very much plot conveniences everywhere in the comic book store. I thought.
Well, I was going to say, I thought it actually followed your typical, like, at a minimum, horror structure. Where, see, I've watched a lot of terrible movies where the plot just kind of stalls, or there's not a lot of anything happening. This one, it followed a structure of, they would get a piece of information, or they would be, or something that would motivate them in a certain direction to move the plot forward, and then they would get there would be a kill, they'd lose somebody, and then they'd have to regroup, then there'd be another pice of information, and then this pattern just repeated several times until they ran out of people. Like, that's pretty much how it ends, but we'll get there. So, so Dad dies, and they end up having to go back to the comic book store. They're like, "We got to kill this shark." It's they have like a Goonies moment. They're like, "It's our time now." So, I think there's also the revelation that the pen made the shark. At this point, it is revealed that the pen made the shark happen, brought the shark to life. So Cody's, of course, filled with guilt and remorse, and the girlfriend says, "How would you have fucking known that this would be, like what teenager doesn't wish death on his parents at Christmas time? How would you know that this would actually result in a killer shark?" All right, so like you do. So anyway, so they go to the comic book store. They figure out that the pen brought the shark to life, and they're like, "We got to kill the shark." And and like every good comic book owner, he is loaded with weapons. He's got a spear and a crossbow and all kinds of shit
with his name on it.
Yeah. So Cody, the best friend, the brother, the model, and the girl next door go back to the bay, armor up, and lure the shark to the dock so that they can kill it with crossbows and spears.
And have a Jaws moment.
Yeah. It does not work out because, as they find out, Santa Jaws cannot be killed with ordinary weapons. It can only...
but no.
It can only be killed by things having to do with Christmas. So
and how they find this out is because the best friend who wrote it gets attacked. No. It's the model girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She's standing there, and the Christmas lights just shoot out of the water and wrap around her.
Right. Yes.
And
Santa Claus has learned how to use the Christmas lights as a lasso.
Yeah, it's the lasso of truth. And she has a candy cane, and she's fighting it, and she stabs him in the eye.
Yep.
And that's the revelation of he can only be hurt by things Christmas. Not saying that, a sharp object to the eye would, do damage anyway, but it was because it was a candy cane. And it was just like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy that for $100.
I think that they only lost the model at that point, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they know that they have to use Christmas weapons. So I think they have to regroup again. They get these they get explosives. They get tree ornaments like Christmas balls, and they're going to load those up, and they're going to use those to fight the shark. So this is their second attempt, but now they're armed with Christmas weapons.
And they got Christmas lights wrapped around the spear,
Yep.
Another spear that they didn't have to begin with, and the crossbow. They wrapped Christmas lights around it to make them quote unquote with Christmas weapons. And you have the feel good moment of the nerd and jock interaction of between the brother and the best friend.
Yeah. So they attack so this time they lure the shark back. It comes back again. Their attack fails. They rolled a 1 instead of a 20 on the 20-sided die for all you D&D nerds. And this time the shark eats the best friend. All right. So, and I think it takes out there's 2 kills. It takes out the best friend and it takes out the girl next door.
No, the girl next door doesn't die until they realize that that they have to use the pen, and they go back to the comic book store. Yeah, because they find out that they've dropped the pen. The best friend dies, and then they find out that they dropped that. He's got to use the pen to help kill the shark. So they go back to the comic book store, which is a hilarious moment. Yeah, okay, that I do remember. So they realize they need the pen back because they've... Now, mind you, if you're keeping score, they tried it with conventional weapons, that didn't work. They tried it with Christmas weapons, that didn't work. So their third attempt to kill this shark is they're going to use the pen to try to, draw it out of existence. Because if the pen brought it into the world, they surmise that the pen will bring it out. So far, perfectly logical. This is all flowing just fine. So they go to the comic book store because he doesn't have the pen anymore and he must have dropped the pen there. And of course, the comic book owner has used the pen to draw himself a Russian girlfriend who doesn't speak English and drew himself money and a new car and tries to run away with the pen. And they end up getting the pen from the comic book owner eventually after a madcap scene of nonsense. And then you're right. They try one more time with the pen, and they lose the girl. They lose the girl next door this time. Now, while all this is happening, the parents are getting ready for this party, and they realize that the son is gone, and they come to realize he's missing. So they're off looking for him while he's running back and forth to the comic book store on the docks to try to kill this shark. And eventually, the parents, the brothers, all meet up again because they're the only characters that are left. And they, and after some apologies I've had, and there's hugging and crying and whatnot, they decide that as a team, they're going to kill this shark. They're going to build a contraption. They're going to launch Christmas turkeys at it, and they're going to use the turkeys to blow the shark up. This leads to my favorite kill of the whole thing because, by the way, when they were trying to draw the shark out of existence, at one point, he drew a spear into it.
Yeah, he drew it being speared, which just resulted in the shark now having a candy cane horn.
Yes, and I specifically made that reference in the chat, and I just said, just wait for it. You'll get the reference when you watch it. Mm-hmm. And so you have this shark, like a 20-foot great white shark that now has a candy cane spear on its head and has grown bigger.
So they misfire 2 of the turkeys. The third one lands on the deck, and it's the only turkey they've got left to use to kill this thing. So the brother runs down to try to get the turkey into the water so it'll kill the shark. And at that point, the shark jumps out of the water and spears the brother with his candy cane horn. It's awesome.
Yes, it is. It is rather great.
Best kill of the entire movie. And so now the brother's dead, and the father, overcome with anguish, runs down to try to save his son. I don't know what he thought he was going to do because he dove into the water and basically fed himself to the shark.
I guess he was going to go one-on-one with the shark and see how it fared out.
Sure. So he dives in the water. The shark eats him. At which point, I think Cody tries to take the shark out, and he does. He actually blows the shark up momentarily, and they think it's over. But just like any good horror movie, just when you think it's over, the shark regenerated and jumps out of the water again, and this time decides to digest the mom slowly, like the Sarlacc. This. Like, if you Google Santa Jaws, this is like the one kill you see everywhere, where he's just chomping on her and she's bleeding on the deck.
Yeah, and flailing her arms trying to get away.
Yeah. So mom's dead. Cody's the only one left. And so he's tried everything. He doesn't know what else to do. I forget what the resolution is. How does he end up killing the shark finally?
He writes a bubble on the last page that says, "I just want my family back," and then he sets the comic on fire, and then you get the wonderful green light disintegration of the shark, like in the no phase
That's right.
out. Then it like explodes, and then he wakes up in his bed.
Yeah. And it's Christmas morning, like it's a Christmas Carol. He wakes, he's like Uncle Scrooge, like runs downstairs. He's like, "You're all back," and they're doing presents, and I guess he was kind of a selfish shit before, and this time he wakes up and he's like, I'll get the muffins," and they're like, "Oh, well, thank you, that was nice of you." Then he runs out of the house to go to the neighbor girl. She's still alive. And he's got her favorite comic, and she's got Santa Jaws, and they trade, and they make a date to go get ice cream later. And then he goes home, and he burns the comic for real. And that's the end of the movie.
And no, there's a cliffhanger, because he takes out the pen, and he looks at the pen, and you think he's going to destroy the pen, and he laughs and says, "Nah," closes the case of the pen, and then it goes black and the credits roll.
Right. All right, Jason, I've been talking for a while here. You helped me out with some of the finer points of the plot that I had forgotten. You got me through it. How much did you love this movie?
Oh, God, I love this movie. My wife hounds me constantly about watching Christmas movies. So I told her that I had a Christmas movie to watch, and it was going to be Santa Jaws. And I got the side eye and the really weird look, and she was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yes, me and Mark are going to review this. We're watching it." So I loved it. I mean, honestly, it was campy. It was fun. It wasn't a really hard watch. It progressed. Like I said, the cinematography, they shot this movie. It looked like a decent movie, the shooting. Now, the acting was pure shit. It was drizzling shits. But, like, visually, the special effects sucked, of course. But the movie itself looked like a movie. It looked like a typical, made-for-TV movie. It wasn't really cheap. It wasn't really low. It didn't look really low budget. Like somebody shot it on a handheld camcorder or their iPhone for like $100. So it has some really nice shots. Like I said, the mother's overacting was one of the greatest things ever. My wife loved that. And it was just fun. It was just one of these movies that I just sat down, just could turn my brain off and just enjoy and relax and unwind for about an hour and a half. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I didn't think the acting was that bad. I have seen worse. It's not good, but
yeah, we watched Warrior Nun and Velocipaster. I know
True.
you've seen worse. I helped you review reviewed them.
You know, I didn't feel like the actors forgot they were in a movie. Yeah, the mom, you know, and I think like I think the mom overreacting in the beginning to him drawing the cartoon, you know, it was pitchy. I'm not sure if that was what the director wanted. You know, how many takes that took to get that performance out of her. But you know, I think like they wanted to get the kid in the room wishing his parents were dead, and so like I think they made it purposely like over the top. Like the guy who plays the grandfather is actually pretty good. You know, he's just happy-go-lucky, you know, lovable grandpa, and he does a good job with that. The best friend is annoying, but I think that's his character. The model character I thought was funny. Like, she's not a great actress either, but she has some really funny lines, and like her facial expressions are the best in the movie.
Yeah. Now, the girl next door was probably the best out of the bunch.
Yeah, she's not overacting. She's not like overly dramatic, and she's not pitchy. She's just she's about like I don't know how many more gigs she's going to get after this fiasco, but she is not bad.
Cody reminded me of. I want to point this out and tell me if you do not see the difference. Trying to remember his name. DJ Qualls.
Okay, vaguely.
Cody reminded me of a young him, just because of that. Because I think he was going through puberty during this movie. Because his voice cracked constantly, and it was just so funny.
Okay, so the girl. Go ahead, finish.
And I mean, it was just. I mean, everybody was like, everybody had it like was stereotypical though. Which I was fine with. I mean, you couldn't really have depth in this movie with characters.
No. I don't think anyone was looking for that. I think, as far as like pitch goes, it's that Sharknado quality of a sci-fi film that you're looking for. So, the acting can't be so bad it takes you completely out of the movie, which I don't think it does. I just want to talk a little bit about the girl who plays the girl next door character. Her name is Courtney Lauren Cummings, and she actually has a pretty decent filmography. She was in Goosebumps 2. By the way, her name is Jenna in Santa Jaws. She's in something called Searching, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul, Fist Fight. She was in a miniseries called Joy, where I think she was the lead. Here's a movie for you guys. That Jew Died for You, which is a short film. She's in something called The Collection, and she's in some shorts. And I think probably the most known thing she's in is The Vampire Diaries.
Oh no! If it's what I think it is, that is not her. That is not her most thing, because if this is it, she played Emma. Okay, because if this is it, her most known thing is the rap from Fist Fight. If she's the little girl from Fist Fight that does the rap, that is what she's most known for. Because if you've never seen the video at the end of Fist Fight, I highly recommend you see it, Mark, because it's right up there in your level. It's this little girl doing gangster rap.
Okay.
And it is the greatest.
Hang on.
I ain't fucking with you.
Emma Fist Fight rap.
No, I think she might be she might be one of the friends, but his daughter in Fist Fight is like, if you've never seen Fist Fight, I highly recommend you watch it.
Okay.
Okay, it's got Ice Cube.
Yeah, I know the movie. I looked at the movie. I've actually never seen it.
Oh, I highly recommend you watch it. It is just if you just watch the YouTube rap thing at the end, of his daughter at the fist fight talent show at the end. Is great. No, it's not his daughter. It must be somebody else in the movie, because his daughter does a rap at the end, and she goes straight gangster rap, and it's great.
Okay. Moving on. So the star of our show, Reed Miller. Let's see what he's done.
Nothing.
Let's
They
see.
seen this, and they said, we are not letting you do anything else.
He hasn't done a lot. He's Jaeger in something called Cade. Joe Bell. He plays Jaden Bell in Joe Bell. He was in a TV series called Play by Play. He's in a TV series called You. He's in a TV series called A Girl Named Joe.
He's in You?
Yeah.
I've got to look this up. I want to know, what did he play in You?
Oh my God, he was in Training Day, the series.
Oh. You's a really good series too, by the way.
He's in a lot more than I thought he was. He's in he's in a video short called G-Rated Fight Club.
Makes sense.
Yeah, terrific. All right, so he's got a fairly decent IMDb for a kid. Let's see, who is Jim Clock? Oh, Jim Clock is the dad.
It's had the greatest line when he pops out with the gun.
Which was, again?
He said something about, we're going to go hunt a shark, or something like, it was just like something really matter-of-factly. And it was just like, comes out of nowhere, because she's reading the note, and next thing you hear is him cock the gun, and just make it like, it's like, we're going to hunt a shark. Okay.
Oh, shit. He's actually in things that I've seen. He's in at least two things I've seen. He was the coach on Cloak and Dagger, the Marvel TV show, and then he was Officer Jerry in the Showtime series about 70s comedy, I'm Dying Up Here. Huh. He actually has some, like, real credits. See, we can't make too much fun of this. Oh, he was on Scream Queens as well. Well, he's got, like, a lot of TV credits. He was on Nashville.
Yeah, The Collector's a really great horror movie too. That the Next Door Girl was in is a fantastic horror movie, kind of Saw-esque horror movie. So I recognize that with her credits, but I not so much. She was in one episode of Vampire Diaries.
Oh my God! I suddenly have a mad respect for the dad character. He was in The Wire.
Oh, so for all those at home, you can mark off The Wire on your broadcasting bingo board.
That's right. He's in the episode Slapstick. Fantastic. All right, so he's a great actor. He's just fine. Let's see here.
I want to see what Papa Joe's been in. Ozark.
Carrie Lazar, who is the mom. She's in quite a number of things. Nothing I recognize, though. She was in Preachers, and she's in Jeepers Creepers 3. Oh my God, she's in Trailer Park Shark.
We've got to get that. So was Papa Joe.
She's in Bad Moms.
Bad Moms is a good movie.
She was in The Big Short. We actually reviewed that on Damn You Hollywood. All right, so it's like is she in? What is this? Oh my God, she's in the movie Thor.
No, she is not.
I swear to God, she is. She plays. Who does she play? She is Viking Mother. There you go.
She's in Magnificent Seven too, isn't she?
She's in Treme.
She's in Preacher, an episode of Preacher.
Yeah, she's actually got a lot of decent TV credits here.
Scream, the TV series. Criminal Minds, Snitch with The Rock.
All right. This is an all-star cast. Now I'm realizing this is
Saturday Night Cleaver.
This is no fly-by-night sci-fi movie. This has got an all-star cast here of known TV actors. Let's see what the brother did. He was in Pokemon Go Squad Battle.
Oh yeah. So he's got the mainstream China market with that. He's recognized in China.
He's known for Urban Country, Laser Team, and Devil's Junction. Terrific. All right. Anything else about this movie we want to talk about before we close up shop for the evening?
I mean, I think, like I said, I recommend this movie if you just want to kill some time and just turn your brain off, get some laughs, and just see something ridiculously funny.
I was going to say, there's an entire genre of movies that are like funny wordplay schlock horror movies, and this is one of them. Like, that's what I say. Like, as soon as I saw a picture of a shark with a Santa cap on and it said Santa Jaws, I was like, I have to see what this is. And that is half the fun of these movies. It's like they put words in a hat, took two words, put them together, made a movie out of it, and like, okay, well, let's see what they came up with. And I'll tell you, like, I've seen some terrible movies in my time, and this is not going to win any Academy Awards or anything like that. But this wasn't too bad. This was a fairly well put together project.
The litmus test: is this better than romaine lettuce?
Are you talking about
A Wrinkle in Time?
Yeah, Yeah, this is better than A Wrinkle in Time. This
so,
made more. Let me at least say this. This made more sense than A Wrinkle in Time. I could follow this plot.
Well, I mean, the plot wasn't bad. The execution was TV movie worthy. I mean, if you're watching a movie called Santa Jaws, you're not going to see Oscar worthy performances. You're not going to be like, looking for anybody to receive an Oscar for this movie. You know what you're in for. And I read some of the reviews on this, and they're like, "Oh, this is a horrible movie. It had the special effects." I was like, "Okay, did Winfrey write something? Did Winfrey write something about the special effects?" Because if you go into a movie called Santa Jaws, your expectations can't be very high.
Yeah, look, I've always said movies should make you feel something, and I laughed at every kill. Every time that shark jumped out of the water, I howled with laughter. And I can tell you that there are comedies that didn't make me laugh nearly as much or at all like Santa Jaws did. So well done there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's a fun movie. You know what you're getting when you flip it on. You're just there to enjoy, just B-level the old. It's put me back in mind of the USA Up All Night.
Yeah,
you're my age. You remember those, and this put me in that mind, and it was fun. It gave me that little nostalgia thing that it just relaxed me. It helped me de-stress from work, helped me de-stress from everything going on in the world. It took my mind off everything, and I enjoyed it. And that's what it was. And like you said, if a movie can spark some kind of feeling, it's done its job. And this brought me some joy.
All right. With that said, that wraps up this past week. We kind of did this one impromptu, which was fun. And I think if we, we find more movies like this that we want to do in this space on the schedule, we'll do some more throughout 2021. Because I enjoy this sort of thing. Speaking of things I enjoyed, last week we reviewed the seminal piece of literature, a tomb worthy of the greatest minds, My Little Pony Transformers, the 4-issue limited series brought to you by IDW. We reviewed AEW Winter is Coming. We reviewed the NXT TakeOver War Game show. Jesse and I reviewed the new Clutch Weathermaker Volume Series Volume 1. And then myself and the two Canadians reviewed The Crown Season 4. This week coming up, we've got Batman 3 Jokers. Ronnie Adams is going to make his return to the network after a long absence. We're going to review Community. He twisted my arm and made me watch it, so I did, and we're going to talk about it. Myself and Jesse are going to review Public Enemy, What You're Going to Do When the Grid Goes Down. And then we'll cap off the week with some boxing. We're going to look at the real deal, Evander Holyfield. So maybe we might get some boxing in. We might not. Depends on how things go. So, look for some surprises this week coming up. The last week before Christmas week. Jason, what do you think about that?
Bah humbug. Actually, this is, for how shitty 2020's been, I'm more into Christmas this year than I ever been. I had a Clark Griswold moment. I have 9-foot ceilings. I bought a 10-foot 4 tree, so I had to. It was 10-foot 4, and the base of it, like the girth at the bottom, is 16 feet around. Like we measured it all the way around at 16 feet. Takes up pretty much half of my living room and kitchen. I'm okay with it though. But I mean, I'm actually enjoying Christmas for all the shitty stuff going on in the world today. I'm actually kind of stoked for Christmas this year. And just now work kind of sucks, but
tell them about your football podcast.
Well, you can over on the W2M network. You can listen to me, Eric Watkins, and Harry Broadhurst. We host the Kickoff, which is pretty much three guys. You get listening to three guys at your local sports bar with no filters. And when you talk to me and Harry, me and Eric, and Harry's the reasonable one that tries to keep everything on track. You can find me either there, or also you can find me on Twitter at W2M Chairman. You can hit me up, talk anything fantasy football, show related. I found out that I found out the career path of Commissioner Gordon from Gotham, how he went from the OC to Southland to become Commissioner at Gotham. So, thing I discovered last night with my wife. And, I mean, typically, and then you'll see me pop up here with Mark every so often.
All right. Oh, that is our inaugural B-side movie review. Thank you for hanging out with us discussing Santa Jaws. If this is the only podcast you listen to on the network, then you have yourself a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, a Mad Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all that. And we'll see you soon. Be well, be safe, and behave.